All right, it's early in the morning. It's about 8 o'clock. I am on a small island off the coast of Japan called Sugashima. I was actually here yesterday. I took a boat from a place called Toba. I'm in the middle of Japan, but at the very southernmost part of that. So I'm definitely on the ocean. Sugashima is an island that really was a fishing village. When I spoke to somebody yesterday, one of the locals, I do speak Japanese, so I was able to ask her how many people are here, and she said that probably not even 500 people. Kids that are born here, they take the boat to school. I'm on kind of a road here, so it's going to be a little bit noisy. But I'm also at the port here. This is where most of the fishing vessels are leaving from, so I wanted to just talk about what my intentions are today. So yesterday, when I went up to up the road, I started crawling around the edge of the island. And I was taking about a 2-mile walk to a very old lighthouse, but on the way, the road narrows significantly, and I found this stairway up into the jungle a little bit. So I decided to take it, and I saw the most peculiar things there. What I thought was garbage and refuse that the wind had stopped, but it was confusing, the kinds of things that I was seeing. I realized while I was up there that I wasn't seeing things that were random, that they were actually placed there. And by the time I got off the island last night, I started thinking that there was a story behind all of that stuff. And I could kind of feel some of the story behind some of the things that I think were placed in this very special place. So I'm going to go up there. I want to call the place sacred, but I don't think it's sacred in a way that you shouldn't go there. In fact, I think it's more of a memoriam to either remember individuals or people in general, a population, or just history in general. So I think it's probably appropriate to go up there. I'm going to video some of those little objects that we see, and but we'll do so with reverence, with whatever it is memorializing, and kind of feel some of the memorial there. I won't touch things a whole lot. I'll try not to touch things at all, but we'll just look at where they're placed. One of the things you're going to see is a concept called wabi-sabi. Everything is decaying up there. And but that's, to the Japanese people, beautiful. They're not going to come clean things, or they'll let things grow over it. So we'll see some wabi-sabi today. I'll give you a few clips as we walk along this oceanside road up into the jungle. So let's start our walk. Okay, I'm just walking along the pier here, and it's a beautiful day. Ohayou gozaimasu. And you can see all the boats here. Probably, it's about 8 in the morning, so those who are going to go out probably have already gone out. I did talk to a couple of very old Japanese men today. One of them was kind of shy. He talked a little bit, but the other one approached me, and he was really hard to understand because his language is very, very old, but I think I got the gist. He was just talking about how it's going to rain, and we talked about fishing. He said they do quite a bit of fishing here, but not much. They still do a lot of seaweed, so they gather a lot of seaweed, then they come on this island and they process it. So, very cool place. It looks like it's going to rain today. It probably will, but we don't care. We're going to press on. Okay, this is a fishing village, as you can see. There's the ocean over there, but on the side here, they just got a bunch of supplies, and it's very interesting. Japan is very organized and clean, but because this is a fishing village, you can just see all this stuff that they store here. Like there's an old string net. You can see that. Take a look at this. Don't know if I'm allowed to get closer, and somebody's watching me, so I'm always being watched on the island. Not because they suspect me, but because I have blonde hair and blue eyes. But these right here are just stacks and stacks of anchors, and very, very rusty. Still have some ropes on them. I don't know if they'll ever be used again, or why they're here, if they'll just be here forever or what. But just stacks and stacks of stuff. There's an anchor and tires. And check this out. Here's some buoys, and then here's a bunch of fishing gear. These would be floating nets that they would stick out, I assume would drag behind the boat. But lots and lots of just kind of stuff here. Everything is very rusted and very old, and yet they're still here, and they're still definitely fishing. Just right there, stop and talk to me. It's very interesting. On the main island, people are scared to talk to you, but on this island, they're not scared to just start talking Japanese to you. I don't know why they think we'd understand. I do. Of course, the guy just stopped me and told me that it looks like it's going to rain. I think he just wanted to talk to me. But here, I'm looking at some more stuff. Just some old rotting wood and some old baskets that were obviously used for fishing. These big, gigantic styrofoam buoys are just here, and pretty nothing. Just stacks and stacks of stuff. Probably not meaningful to all of you, but taken in whole, it's quite amazing. That old man back there said that he ran into my wife. And then he realized she's walking to the lighthouse on the other side of the island. So I guess they're used to a few people walking to the lighthouse. This is interesting here. This is kind of a ramp, concrete ramp that's obviously very old, and it's got rail on it. I say that, but some of the rail has been taken away, so it's not used anymore. But the rail, if you follow it, just kind of goes up what looks like into the jungle to an old house. But that would mean probably that somebody's boat was there, or that this was a boat repair dock of some sort, a small boat repair dock. All right, we're going to continue our walk on this road around the island. Okay, we have arrived at the place. So if you walk up the road here, you can see that it's very, very steep, first of all. But then if you turn around, this is what you see, this staircase that goes up into the jungle up at the top. So we're going to start walking that staircase. Just a moment before we go up this staircase here, I want to remind you that we're going to look closely at objects, going to try not to touch them. I think they're a memoriam for either individuals, maybe who died at sea or just died and were seafaring people all their life, or they're a memoriam for a people or just this community here, and it represents just what has gone on in the community. But I do feel like some of them are very tender things. But at first, I'm going to show you how this looks like it's just randomly strewn about refuse. If you look closer, we'll look closer, and we'll see that, nah, those were placed there for a reason. Okay, well, first of all, the whole path, they have some kind of white rock, which you don't see a lot of. So it was obviously brought here. And so it's a little bit of a treacherous walk. As you get up here, I want to show you, first of all, just so you can see, definitely in the ocean. The ocean's right there. So it's definitely a beautiful view, but this is very, very overgrown. And as you look up the path, you'll start to see what I'm talking about. Now take a look at this. So this looks like some kind of fence that they kind of created, but if you look at it, what's there is not just sticks of bamboo wood, but that pink thing. Let me just kind of get here. This pink thing and this black thing, and there's another rod behind that. Those are fishing rods of some sort that were probably connected to a boat. And so you can see that the fishing rods were, there's lots of fishing rods in this fence. I thought it was just bamboo sticks, but it's not. So as we get closer up here, we'll start to see more interesting things. All right, now they have a fence right here. You can see there's objects. There's definitely an old pot with a plant in it. And then we start seeing objects like a fishing net. Let's see what else we see. More little square fishing nets, panels of wood. Here's some kind of wooden red object here. I think was probably something to do with fishing. And you can see right there, if you can get closely, that this was just a fishing rod, and all of this, what looks like refuse, is integrated into the fence itself. And then right up here, we're starting to come up to the top here, and it gets way more interesting. All right, and here we are, and we see this little brick concrete alcove, and if you go around here, what you see is that it is a very small shrine. And so that's Buddha, and you can see somebody's placed some coins in this shell here. Other than that, it's just a very small square. We're on a very, very steep hill. You can tell the jungle goes down significantly from here. And then now we're here, we'll look more closely at what we see. Okay, now I look terrible probably because it's hot and I'm sweaty, but I had to climb up this hill. But I want to show you some objects that seriously you're gonna think they're trash that got blown up here, but look closely and you'll realize, no, there's a bit of a story there. Now keep in mind that this stuff, so here's some water bottles. And then below that are, I don't want to touch it too much, but are intact teacups. So the idea is that they would feed the dead. They believe in giving them water and food. And so probably people bring even food up here, but water with water bottles, and that's what those are. They're plastic water bottles, look like trash, but somebody has brought the water bottles up there with those teacups, and it's honorary for the dead. All right, let's go. There is a gigantic bug there. I don't want it to land on me, so, okay. All right, now check this out right here. This is an old rake that's leaning up here. It's barely intact. It's falling apart. And first I saw that up here and I thought, what's that? Somebody left that here. But no, this is made of bamboo. I don't know how old it is, but this has been definitely placed here purposefully. And there's a lot of shells here. You can see them kind of everywhere. So those aren't native for up here. Those have been placed there as well. Okay, and then I want to show you, here's another little story. So right here is some kind of net, and right there is literally a garden claw and a spoon, and then of course a shell right there, and taken and whole, that definitely tells some kind of story. That's in memory of something or somebody. My favorite, and I think the most sacred thing, is over here. Let's see if I can capture it. All right, so you see this pile. Now as you go closer, what you'll see is that what this is, if you can see the roundness of these objects, this is the steerage part of a boat or a ship, an old wooden steering. It's obviously in pieces now. And then right next to it, of course, is some rope or some tack. If you can see that, I'm going to touch it just a little bit just to bring that up. And then of course, right in the middle is a glass buoy ball. That's what they used way back in the day, that would float in the ocean. So they could tie nets to it. So that definitely tells some kind of story there. Not sure what it is. In my mind's eye, I think it probably commemorates a people, but it could commemorate a person as well. I'm going to look at it a little bit more closely to see what else I see.